What's up, everybody? Terrell and Cam here, fresh out the theater from coming from Godzilla Cross Kong, a new empire. I want to make sure I got that title right. Godzilla Cross. I want to say Godzilla versus Kong so bad, bro. Like I want to say Godzilla Cross Kong, a new empire. We just came from directly from the theater to give you our review on this movie. First off, let's start off by saying. Let me just pitch it to you real quick. Just your feelings directly out the theater before we get into like kind of the specifics. No spoilers. What'd you think about this new entry in the Warner Brothers Godzilla franchise?
So, I actually did like it. I mean, previous Godzilla movies, I haven't really been a fan. I've been impartial to it, I guess. I mean, I've sat through it and watched them just to see, if it would deliver that excitement for me. But this one seemed to actually take the cake. But for sure, it's definitely nonstop action in this one, and it just seemed like there weren't many talking scenes at all. It was really just straightforward, throwing the hands left and right, though.
That's pretty solid. I mean, I definitely concur with a lot of what you were saying. But let me say this. Everybody knows, they follow me, they see me on this channel, they know I'm a big Tokusatsu fan. I'm a big special effects guys in suits, and Godzilla. I've praised B to Godzilla when Godzilla -1 came out, and I don't know if you've seen that movie. Completely has nothing to do with this because it's a different universe. Right. But Godzilla been having a hell of a year. We had Monarch, we had Godzilla -1. Like I said, we have this, which, like I said, a whole new entry. I thought this movie brought way more than what I was expecting. Yeah. This is what I wanted. I wanted to come in here, get monsters. I wanted to see kaiju fight each other. I think they delivered on a lot of different tones of this movie. I do disagree with what you said, like as far as like and we kind of do have to throw the plot out there, but right. I do think it was bogged down a little bit by some of the talking points, which is always kind of the negative of a lot of these movies. They feel like the human element kind of brings down the movie. I disagree. I did think it slowed. I do think it slowed it down a little bit, but it wasn't interesting enough to where it was feel like it was boring or needed. Because I mean, it was a lot of things that needed to be said to make it make sense. If that makes sense. So yeah, let's start off with talking about. I guess we can just jump right into. First of all, the overall. I mean, again, we know the story. No spoilers here, like I said. But the story of this movie is basically Kong and Godzilla need to team up, as the title implies, to take on a new threat. The last movie was Godzilla versus Kong. That they were trying to figure out a way to get Godzilla and Kong in the fight because they had to take out Mecha Godzilla. So that was another team up movie. What did you think of the overall plot of this movie?
I didn't think it was far-fetched. I mean, it from beginning to end, I think it actually made a lot of sense. I think there was some parts that I was a little confused about as far as I guess Godzilla's just overall well-being, right? I mean, like I thought at one point Godzilla was a girl, to be honest with you. Like I thought at one of the films before it was like she.
Talk about the Matthew Broderick movie with the egg.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why I was confused, because I was like, wait, I thought Godzilla was a girl, and they kept referring to him as he, and I was like, all right, am I lost? Like, all right, I was mixing up movies at this point. But I think the overall plot actually did make sense, though. I mean, of course, when I think of Godzilla, I think of him as like, the tyrant or the person that's always destroying stuff. Yeah, nobody can have anything nice in any city at this point because he's just crushing everything. But it seemed like, I think you pointed out in this film, that he was trying to avoid like not really messing up everything. I felt like he was like skipping over a couple of buildings and, trying to take his time, but it's just too big, like he got to crush something at this point.
It's definitely going to be collateral damage. I mean, right. But you could definitely see there was some type of in this movie more of a relationship with the humans where like he like you said, he definitely tried to avoid certain things or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
people
mean, I think
people
he just knew that he's just big, so of course he's gonna ruin things. But it seemed like he genuinely did care about saving them at the end of the day as well. Um, and I would say that I think one of the people that actually stood out to me in this film was probably Brian Tyree Henry, right?
yeah, he was in the last
He,
movie too.
yeah, he was funny, man. Like through this whole film, he actually was really, really funny. So um he was one of the brighter spots to the talking points, I would
Oh,
say,
for
as
sure.
well, though. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, man, he has some range, man. Like I've
Yeah,
seen
he
him in
does.
some movies where I'm like, yo, is this Paperboy? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Like, you know, he
Right.
he de- he is a thespian through and through. Like he is,
For
I
sure.
mean, from Eternals to whatever else that he's been in, he is able to take on a role and appear. I mean, definitely, is appear and embrace a completely different person. Like it does not
Right.
feel like the last thing that he played. He doesn't feel like the guy playing, using the same, without making, doesn't feel like Kevin Hart basically being Kevin
Right.
Hart in every movie.
Every single film,
Right.
it's Kevin Hart,
Brian
not
definitely,
whoever
like I
he's
said,
playing. Right.
right, definitely has the range. Um, but yeah, overall the plot of this movie, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we got to figure out the way for the monsters to meet up and clash with each other. We gotta make our toys and the sandbox, figure out a way to make this fight make sense.
Right.
Um, and I thought they did a really good job of kind of hammering more onto as the trailer reveals, more in the Hollow Earth,
Mhm.
more of what's there, explaining a lot more, because like the last movie we got, the Hollow Earth, Monarch, that just aired not too long ago, really goes in the depth of the Hollow Earth, and what that makes sense. Now, one of the things that I definitely, is because they just revealed in Monarch, was basically the longer you stay down in Hollow Earth, the passing of time is different. Now, I'm not saying this to say like a spoiler or anything like that, but that was just one of the things I thought about when they were in the Hollow Earth. But like I said, that
Right.
they did a really good job of making this fight. I mean, honestly, I didn't care. Like I didn't. This plot could have been nothing, and I would have
Right. Yeah, still.
all this. It's Godzilla, it's Kong, it's XYZ that they're fighting. I'm not going to reveal any of that to you guys, but
Right.
it's definitely worth the watch. Now let's talk about that CGI. Let's talk about this mega budget of CGI. Now, as somebody that's watched a lot of movies, would you say this is some of the best CGI you've ever seen, or this is like mid? This is like this
It
is this
was
is not, because I feel like everybody's complaining about CGI these days.
yeah,
Like,
but
yeah,
we can't make it any better ourselves at the same time. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So I would say it wasn't bad. It was pretty good,
right,
honestly. There were times where with Godzilla, I was a little confused. I mean, not Godzilla, I'm sorry. With Kong, I was confused whether I was looking at Kong or Bigfoot, right? Like he seemed like he was more of a man in this stage of the movie
right.
than we've ever seen before. Like he was less ape and more man. It was more standing on 2 feet and less on fours at this point. So I would say that was the only point where I was like, hold on, let me make sure I'm watching the right movie at this point. But I think the CGI was pretty spot on. I mean, there's a lot of different color palettes and very, very intricate color dynamics that come into effect with showing the different aspects of this movie in different worlds. So I think they did a great job, honestly. What did you think about it?
Well, first off, I want to point out to you guys that's watching, we saw this in IMAX,
Right.
and this was 100% worth it in
Mm,
IMAX. They
yeah.
filled the screen from top to bottom. Like, I would highly recommend, if you are going to see this, spend the extra couple dollars for IMAX, or spend the
Yeah.
extra couple dollars for really good sound, because there was a lot of monster screaming going
Yeah.
on in this movie.
Oh my god.
But no, I thought it was solid. I thought it was consistent. I think that they keep upping the ante of making this look better and better. Especially where we're getting more scenes where these monsters are in the daylight. Now, I think
Mhm.
that's impressive when you can
Yeah.
have CGI to this extent, and have and like on the scale that these monsters are, and this in daylight hours, it's not hidden by the darkness. Then
Right.
it looks really good. There wasn't really a moment of the CGI where I was like, man, this looks kind of suspect. I have no idea what the budget is. I'm assuming at least $300 to $400 million.
Yeah,
If
easy.
I had to guess, which they did -1 on like $100 million shoestring budget, which is insane to me. Um, but no, this looks really good, man. Kong. Now, I will. What you were saying about Kong, he looks different. I would say from like movie to movie, like from Skull Island
Right.
to
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kong, he definitely does have like a different look or almost a different scale, maybe just a different shade. It could just be me, man. But
Yeah.
I will say he definitely did seem like it was kind of hard to identify him at times. Not to say that it was
Yeah.
bad, but it was some monkeys in the movie. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, literally.
you know, like, all right, who's who here? But no, he had some. Kong has some identifiable marks, especially him being the size that he is and everything else. But no, the CGI looked phenomenal here, man. Like I said, this was
Yeah.
definitely worth seeing in like IMAX. I can imagine if this is like IMAX 3D too, this probably would have been tight.
Oh yeah, it was like would look
This
crazy,
definitely would have
honestly.
been solid. Now let's head on that action because that's what this movie's all about, in the action. Let me explain that to you. What did you think of the movie's overall action for this movie?
I thought it was really, really good. They did an excellent job, especially with the, I guess you can still call it choreography because it's mainly, CGI for the most part. But
Right.
just with the action choreography, I think it was really, really good. Especially, when you get to see Kong kind of with his back against the wall, facing up against, a group of goons, if you want to call it, and he always seems to prevail, which I think is always the amazing hero story that we always love to see in the theaters as well. But I think they nailed it, honestly. I mean, this was exactly what we wanted to see, and we wanted to see, I was obviously, how Kong is able to prevail and how smart he's actually evolved into, if you think about it now. He's able to kind of put pieces of the puzzle together himself and basically triumphant at the end of the day. And like you said earlier, they didn't want Godzilla to look like no sucker as well, though.
right.
I think it's like,
hold on now. You heard, this is still a Godzilla movie. We, as we found out from Godzilla is the king of monsters for a reason.
For
like,
sure.
we gonna let Kong get a couple hits in.
But that's enough.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
But you get nuclear blasted. No, man. I thought the action was definitely solid. I mean, obviously, that's the highlight of the movie. It felt like it had weight to it, especially when you, like I said, when you're doing mostly CGI and these characters are hitting each other, it has to feel like there's something behind it. And when they hit the ground, when they were punching, when they were clawing XYZ, it felt like they were actually on something. So again, shout out to the entire long credits of people that were doing the VFX, the CGI, everything. He did an incredible job with this movie. Like I said, it looks incredible. The fights, I mean, I was pumped every time we got a fight, and there was a lot of fights in the movie. There's a lot of different scenes where we getting a lot of clashing. And shout out to all the people that were collateral damage in the background, because
it's a lot of them.
Jeez,
there's more of them. I can tell you that.
I need Monarch to do better, man. Protect some shields and stuff. We got flying vehicles. Can we get some shields?
Yeah.
Right. But no, man, it looked good, man. Even to the final scene where I was just completely blown away, like how they did a lot of it. It just looked really, really good. Like I said, I have no complaints when it comes to the action. There was, I did have a particular feeling about the finish, but it really wasn't enough to really pull me out. Like, oh man, this was trash.
Right.
But again, Godzilla's the king of monsters for a reason. Like you said, he ain't no sucker. He ain't going down. He definitely gets there. Like, where this movie also feels like it's mostly a Kong movie, though, if I'm being honest. Like, Godzilla's but this feels more like another Kong story, or an extension of the story, obviously, from Godzilla versus Kong. So again, without spoiling anything, like I said, if for you that are going to see it, like I said, this feels more like a Kong movie, and Godzilla is just there as the special boss character to put things in order.
Right, exactly.
Now, just one more topic, and then we can do whatever. But like, what do you think about the just kind of like the soundtrack, the music, like the whatever in the background of everything that was going on?
I think it actually blended really, really well with all of the fight scenes that were going on. And even the changing of I guess you can say not atmospheres, but locations in the show as well. There was always like a location change, and then music kind of funneled in to kind of let you know, like, oh, you're here somewhere beautiful, or okay, danger's about to get pop off, so everybody need to get ready. But no, the music obviously coordinated really, really well with this film, as well as the action. And I think they just did such a solid job with it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I definitely want to see this movie again, and I feel like if I see this, I gotta get the Dolby Digital joint
Oh
with the
yeah,
loud
definitely,
popping speakers. Like I said,
definitely.
our theater was really really good. I wish they could have turned the speakers up just an inch,
Yeah.
or if we had like the seats that like were like moving like and stuff like that. I feel like that would
Oh
have
yeah,
really
yeah.
set off this movie. Like it would have been like I said, it's a solid movie, but it would have been an even better experience with that. Like I said, the music, we get the classic, Godzilla music. We get, Kong's theme, so on and so on. Like I said, they did a really good job of matching just the sound and everything for this movie. Overall, just wrapping it up, the movie's incredible. What did you think? What would you give this movie, or what would you say to people that are thinking about hesitating to go see this movie in the theater versus like waiting to like see it at home?
I definitely think IMAX does it justice. So you have to experience it IMAX before you get to experience
Absolutely.
at home. At home, I mean, like you said, if it's Dolby Digital, then that sound effect will be able to come through the screen, and you'll be able to kind of really immerse yourself in the movie a little bit more. But nothing's like IMAX, honestly. If you go check it out IMAX, it'll be a
No.
totally different experience, and you'll probably appreciate this movie a lot more if you just got it on regular Blu-ray. To be honest with you,
4K.
4K, of
But
course, yeah,
no, like you said, I mean the movie is 100% worth seeing in the theater. This is a theater experience movie. The scale of it is purposely made for IMAX. Like
yeah,
I said, when we thought it was the screen was top to bottom. I mean, Godzilla barely fit that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But he was good. No, man, the movie was good. It's definitely something that I want to see again. I really enjoyed it. The comedy was great. The pacing didn't feel too slow. We got right into what we need to do. I'm very happy to see this is like what the fifth
Yeah.
movie in the franchise. If you would have told me 10 years ago, yeah, we was getting this, I would have called you a
There's
liar
no
to your
way.
face. It's
Yeah,
like,
no way, right? Yeah, like ain't no
yeah,
way.
I'm happy to see my man Godzilla getting the respect that he deserves. I'm
Yeah.
glad that again we get to see why he's king of the monsters. And Kong even comes in and does his thing. I really, even though he needs some assistance. Uh, I'll leave it at that. He still came through with the clutch, man. But like I said,
Yeah.
this is a really good movie. I highly recommend. If I had to give it a rating, ooh, this is definitely for me personally, and it's a little bit of bias. 4 out of 5.
I
I
think
don't know
I
how
think
you feel.
4 out of 5 is solid, honestly. And that's
Yeah,
not with me not being a huge fan of
yeah,
Godzilla or Kong. I still think 4 out of 5 is a good rating because we just see how much work went into this movie and how amazing it came out. So I think a lot of people are going to appreciate it. And this one's going to surprise a lot of folks, I think.
Now we will tell you there is no end credit scene. At least the
There's
screen of
not.
the we did not
Right.
see a end credit scene, but that's something that could change. I don't know. For the most part,
Yeah.
all of these movies have had one, but again, we'll see once this officially released. But like I said, look, this has been our review, which I think we did an amazing job of talking about for Godzilla Cross Kong. Like I said, we didn't want to spoil anything for you, but we will tell you again, this is 100% worth your time. If you are a fan of Godzilla, if you just want to have a good time in the movies and turn your brain off and see two titans just clash at each other, this is going to be your movie. Please go out and see this in IMAX. This is 100% worth it. Or whether you got a good sound system. But Cam, is there any parting words you want to say about this before we get out of here?
Give it a chance. It's a good movie. Check it out.
It's a good movie. Well, on that note, guys, we'll see you later for another review. I'm sure me and Cam will have something else. Again, it's been a review for Godzilla Cross Kong, A New Empire. And we'll see you guys next time. And leave us a comment below. Let us know what you thought about the movie. See you.